PFF reports that Deshaun Watson's hold time in the pocket, AJ, is 3.1 seconds, longest of any quarterback since 2017. On the other hand, though, he had the second highest long ball accuracy. With a faster wide receiver core, is this going to help him get the ball out faster, or will they be throwing more deep routes and he'll still be holding the ball long?
With a faster wide receiver core is such a funny thing to say, because that's everybody's way of spinning the fact that DeAndre Hopkins is gone. Like we've got a worse wide receiver core, but they're faster. I don't know. I don't know if those guys are going to stay healthy. I don't know if they're going to be able to get separation the way DeAndre did. And what I also know about DeAndre is Deshaun was comfortable throwing the ball at DeAndre even if he was covered. I don't know if you can feel that way about, Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller, if you're willing to just go throw the ball up there and take a chance because you don't expect them to win as many of those 50-50s as DeAndre did. So I imagine he's going to have to start finding a way to get the ball out quicker because he doesn't have that security blanket anymore. And this team cannot afford for him to take these long sacks.
Well, let's face it, though. I mean, without Will Fuller for most games, he missed another 5 last year. With DeAndre Hopkins, who doesn't separate, he that's one thing one of the things about DeAndre Hopkins is he catches 50-50 balls because there's usually somebody on his back.
Yep.
So he doesn't separate. I don't think it was because of deep balls. I think it was a lot of maybe Deshaun is indecisive and he holds onto the ball and he likes to get out and he likes to make Deshaun plays and innovate as opposed to on schedule. And maybe with faster, quicker guys in the slot, smaller guys that are going to be doing quick slants and whatnot, I think that maybe he will get the ball out sooner. I don't think necessarily because they're just going to do fly routes, but because he'll be on time more. And you're right. I'm not going to go, okay, guys hanging on Randall Cobb, I got to throw him the ball because he's going to win that fight. No, that's not going to happen. But I think Deshaun might be better off if instead of always trying to make a play, he's actually doing stuff on schedule with these other guys.
I think also having the running backs that they have now, guys who are going to be, sort of safe security blankets out of the backfield, that could help his overall hold time. But I do still have concerns that when they're looking to make a big play down the field, sometimes he gives up the good play in hopes that he can hit the great play.
Yeah.
And often that high risk, high reward thing goes the wrong way with him. He's the most sacked quarterback in the league last year. And I don't think it's not correlated to the fact that he holds onto the ball longer than everybody else.
No, and the offensive line is good. If you want to,
better, certainly better.
Yeah, I think it's one of the strong points on the team in the offensive line now, where it was a huge weakness. It is no longer the case. So he shouldn't have the most sacks in the league. Now, he also does throw a lot of long interceptions, which, sometimes you go, well, sometimes it's dumb on first down, which he's done before.
Yes.
On first down, you don't throw a long interception. But if it's third and long and you throw a deep ball and it's intercepted, it's like a punt. Okay, you can certainly live with that. But I honestly, I've heard you and Fred talk about this before. Is this what kind of situation is this for Deshaun? With Bill O'Brien as his head coach, with this defense, with we know who they are in the playoffs. If he'd been on another organization with another head coach, would Deshaun be that much better right now?
Almost certainly, in my opinion. And I've always said that if Andy Reid drafted Deshaun Watson instead of Patrick Mahomes, we may be talking about Deshaun Watson as the best player in the NFL right now. And it's not that Deshaun doesn't have these abilities. And that's why, in a way, I feel a little bad for Deshaun because I say all the time, guys who get drafted to Cleveland, they're playing with a handicap because, it's just we haven't seen Cleveland Browns quarterbacks succeed. So if one ever actually does it, it's going to be like, man, that guy really came through something. It's almost that way with the Texans right now. If Deshaun can do something great, and he's been good, don't get me wrong, he's obviously a good player, but if he can become great and actually take this team somewhere, it's going to be wowing because it's almost like he's got an anchor tied to him with this organization and with that head coach. It's going to be unbelievable if he can make something bigger happen than what he's done.
Well, we've talked about it for years, wasting Andre Johnson's prime years and J.J. Watt's prime years. And now is it going to be Deshaun? He wasted his prime years. And, oh, by the way, the proportion of salary cap that he's going to eat up, you don't win championships. The highest proportion was 13% by Tom Brady, Peyton Manning 12%, some other guys 11%. But for the most part, you got to win when these guys aren't getting paid. And that clock is ticking right now. Deshaun is going to get paid, and the Texans aren't going to be able to fill the other spots if he's taken up such a large portion of the salary cap.
Well, look at what Seattle did when they had Russell Wilson on a rookie deal. Right. They were able to build this monstrous team around him and go on and win a Super Bowl, play for another one. Russell Wilson gets paid, and deservedly so. I mean, at the time, Russell Wilson was probably the best quarterback in the league. Deservedly gets paid, but you see that team just fall off. And now it's Russ carrying a bunch of lesser guys. They're still pretty good, but are they a Super Bowl threat year in and year out? It doesn't really feel that way. Deshaun, when he gets that $40 million or whatever he's going to get, and then the Texans have to build around that, they haven't been able to build around him on his rookie deal. So how can we count on the Texans to build a roster that can contend for a Super Bowl when they're paying their quarterback that much money? It almost brings up the question of, is it smart to sign Deshaun Watson to that long-term deal? Because are you going to have a chance to win with that?